Hi everybody, welcome back to the painting channel. Today it's going to be a watercolour all about people in a crowd. So let's dive straight in. Join me now. Let's see how we get on. Hi everybody and welcome back to the painting channel. As I said just now, it's all about people in a crowd. I wanted to explore how you build more than a couple of people into your painting should you wish to do so, and the little sort of ways that I go about doing it. I mean, there are lots of ways of doing it. This is just my way, but I wanted to show you that, and for the purposes of it I used a picture off of Pixabay. It's free to download, and I'm sure if you go onto Pixabay you can download the same image that I use and have a go at this yourself. The background is loosely based around the one in the photograph, although I didn't put as much effort into that as maybe I could have done. I really wanted to concentrate on the people and try and keep the video short, and it is at 1.5 times speed, so the only way I could get the video down a little bit was to sort of speed it up a little, but not by much. Before I go into it though, I just wanted to say a very, very big thank you to all the new subscribers and my existing subscribers that help support the channel. Without you, I would have no channel and it wouldn't be worth continuing. So thank you very much for taking the trouble to hit that subscribe button and clicking on the bell icon, and that always tells you when I've got more videos coming up, and that's normally every Friday. Well, it actually is always every Friday. I actually, touch wood, haven't missed one since I started this channel. So always on a Friday you'll have a brand new video from me. And don't forget my 2 weekly live streams. I do one on a Monday, which is normally in oil or charcoal or pastel or something, and that's at 7 p.m. GMT. I also do one every Friday, same time, 7 p.m. GMT, and it's always a watercolour on a Friday. So you might want to tune in and sort of just come into the chat and say, hi, it's such and such, and I'll always say thanks and hi back, and you can get involved with that. And yeah, the audience for those are growing. So if you want to have some real time and watch me sometimes struggle with a painting and hopefully not wreck it completely, then join me on one of those 2 nights or both of those nights as you wish and become a regular visitor. You'll be so welcomed for that. And if you want even more from me, I'm sounding like a blown out old record now, but if you really want some more from me, look out on my Patreon. Now if you go into the details below here, you'll find all the details to get to my Patreon. It's a place where I add so much more content, and I'm continually increasing the amount of content that I'm actually adding there. I also have a Facebook page that's just for my patrons to go to and use a direct contact with me, and we interact and we get a lot more done, and it's such a great place. Now the thing is that it will only cost you maybe a coffee a month or 2 coffees a month, not a great deal of money, but you get so much for it. But you also know that you're helping me support the channel. You're helping me with all the money that's involved in materials, with the tech, to make all this happen. And bearing in mind that most of my week is creating content for you guys to enjoy and to learn from. So take it out, check it out, not take it out, check it out, check out the Patreon. If you like it, get involved, you'll be so welcome, and that would be absolutely fantastic. Now I've gone on long enough, so let's get straight into this video and enjoy it. Catch you all next week. All the best for now. Bye bye. Okay, so jumping right in, people. It's one of those subjects that gets a lot of people worried when they have to think about painting people into a painting that they're creating. And I'm no different. It's a daunting subject to get figures looking about right in any painting. Watercolor or oil or any other medium, it doesn't really matter. But I suddenly realized that after lots of practice, I realized that you only have to paint the essence of somebody. You don't have to paint that amount of detail to create the illusion of people in a landscape or in a situation in a town, as this one is. Now, quickly, this painting is being done from a photograph that I found on Pixabay. Go on to Pixabay. It's free to download. Click in the search bar and you should be able to find it quite easily. But I loved it when I saw it because I felt that it was a town scene, a city scene, lots of people very close together forming this crowd with a beautiful backlight that really suggested the shadows in front of the people moving forward. So I felt that it was absolutely perfect for the job. Now, one thing about painting people, certainly when you've got a lot of people in this situation, is if you look at them, all their heads are pretty much on the same level. Now, the thing about that is that they will be, because they are on your horizon line. They are on your eye level. So all these people, there are exceptions, of course there are. There are tall people, there are short people, so they will buck the trend. But generally, all the people, their heads should be, whatever size they are, however close or however far away, they should be pretty much on the same level. And that's what I've done. And before I go into building a lot more of the crowd, I've created my primary figures. The 4 figures, well, 3 at the moment, there will be a 4th, but those figures are my primary subjects. They are those in the crowd closest to me. But now, look, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10, 12, 15, 20. It doesn't really make a lot of difference because now my people are growing in numbers. And I'm just tapping their heads in the crowd behind. But all I've done is added some dots. But you can already see, even without their bodies, they look like a whole load of people there. And now all I'm doing is joining in some of the information between one and another. Now, as different layers dry, I will add extra darks to them so that I can bring those that I want, more importantly, or those closer to me, to the front by adding a much more dense tone or value of colour. But equally, they will dry off lighter and you'll see me add much more to those in front too. The thing about this is that I'm leaving little bits of white paper, and it's the white paper that is giving rise to the highlights on the other figures, and it also gives me the definition between one against the other. Some of them are crossing the paths of the other. They don't have that little bit of white, but generally it does help that if you can sort of just leave these little bits of white paper, white space around your figure, it will add to the illusion of people walking past each other and their busy lives. And yeah, I just love it because you can create so much atmosphere from all of this. And already we've got a crowd working, and I haven't actually done too much work, and I'm not actually painting any more figures bodies other than those in the front and on the outer edges. The rest are just little bits of fill-in that are suggestive darks against the lights that tell you, when you look at them, that there are more people there. And I've made them a little bit warmer as they go back because the light source behind them is very hot. It's very, very intense. It's the end of the day, I'm guessing. And so it's allowing them to get a little bit warmer as they go away from me, which is against the norm, really, because normally things get cooler as they go away. But against that sense of light, they are getting a bit warmer. This figure in front caused me a lot of problems. It was a chap with some sort of hood with fur around it. I have seen them. I don't know quite what sort of hat that is, but I didn't render it very, very well. So it looks like someone with a great big hairstyle. It's one of those. It happens, and it doesn't detract from the picture. I just didn't render the hat that well. So anyway, but I'm adding more people all the time, little taps here, little taps there, and just creating a bigger body of people as they move out from those central figures. But there's enough light between them to suggest the highlights on shoulders and heads and bits and pieces. And I think even though that you can't see another individual, your brain is telling you that there are an awful lot of people there. Now I'm going to go into the background. The lovely background in the photograph, if you are actually watching or looking at that, is that it's a very hot sun or end of day. And I wanted to use aureolin in the back there to really sort of suggest that degree of light. And then as I come towards the front of the picture, I wanted to add cooler colours and darker colours so that it really frames the whole subject. But I haven't put a lot of effort, I've got to say, into the background or the surroundings. I merely wanted to do it to finish off the painting, to give the people a sense of purpose, a sense of presence, a sense of walking up and down the street as the image suggests they are. But the core of the video was to merely show you how to create a crowd of people. So hopefully I've done that. And next video I'm going to do is actually focusing in on more individuals, more movement, stance and things like that. It's only a short video. I say that every time, I know. But it is a fairly short video, and it will go into one or two other factors when it comes to painting figures. Now I'm coming in with the wonderful shadows that are being created by these people. And for that, against those warm colours that I put in the foreground, purposely I put those warm oranges in, so that when I come to put in these wonderful violets and deep violets, which are essentially ultramarine violet and maybe a little bit of indigo and a tap of alizarin here and there, but they give me varying degrees of purples, and I can radiate out all of those silhouettes of the shadows first. Now the thing is, you saw me put the main characters in first. All of those people in the front get their shadows going in first, and then whatever room I've got, I start making suggestive shadows for all those people that are walking forwards or away from in the background. So you get a whole raft of shadows as you have a whole raft of people, but the primary figures in both cases get done first, and the remaining shadows from all those people get filled in as not as an afterthought, but sort of moving on towards the end of the painting in that regard. So, and talking of end of paintings, we are not that far from it really. I've got a little bit of stuff to do on the outside just to really key and frame it, because you've got a sense of light with this painting, but you don't have the sense yet because we haven't given it the treatment that it would need to concentrate the view onto that center of the painting and the people. And yeah, I wasn't sure how far to go with this, but I did want to give you some idea that it was a street, it was a road, and that the sun or the light was setting towards the end of it. So that's why I carried on doing this. I could have stopped the video here, and I'd have sort of thought to myself, job done. I wanted to show you how to build the crowd, but I just wanted to carry on a little bit longer and just put one or two features in to give scale, to give some sort of sense of being really. And also it gave me an excuse to give me that dark area, certainly on one side, that I was looking for, to really throw out the light. And I always tell my students that if you want something to appear really light, really bright, then you have to have everything around it quite dark, and that will really work for you. On the other way, if you want something to appear really dark, then have everything around it really light. Now if you look at those people, certainly in the center, they're really, really dark, but it's not as dark as some of the other colors around them. It's quite light, but by the same token, it's the light around them that makes them look darker, so it's working in reverse. Now this dark form on this side that I've just put in is really giving you a sense of light in the center of the picture. And I'm just going in and putting a little bit of extra strength of tone into a couple of the front figures, just to make them look as though they are really in the front, they're really sort of coming out at us. And yeah, I think we're pretty much done. I've had a lot of fun doing this, and I hope and sure you must have got something from it to move on with your own artistic endeavours. And I hope I've sort of helped you a little bit convey that although there's a lot of people in this picture, the painting of it really wasn't that long, and the construction of it is just looking at one or two simple little rules and observations as you move forward with it, giving a bit of space for the person to walk into, a little bit of clear paper between that person and the next person, and you can start to form your own crowds of people, or one or two, couple holding hands, whatever it might be. But hopefully you've got a better idea now that you can take this on in and have a go yourselves and enjoy the process, but do it on old scraps of paper. The more you try, the better it will become, the easier it becomes, because you're observing so much more. So yeah, have a go at it. And in the meantime, I'm going to leave you now, and I'm going to look forward to doing next week's video for you. As I said, it's going to be probably the other painting people in watercolour, so it sort of follows hot on the heels of this one. And in the meantime, whatever you're doing this weekend, certainly stay safe, have fun, do lots of painting, lots of practice, get out there with a camera, take a few shots of people in the high streets, and come back, look at them on your computer, and just paint a few. In the meantime, take care everybody, all the best for now. Bye bye guys, bye bye.